I would now like to invite to the stage Martin Beatty, who will introduce Kate Irvin Pfeffer.
Good evening. You probably read about her 10-time All-American honors, mostly in the 800, the mile, and the 1500 meters. But one special quality Kate has is her unselfishness. Kate more than once doubled and tripled at the indoor NCAA championships by enthusiastically agreeing to run in the DMR relay, thereby helping 3 other Middlebury Panther women to All-American honors. More than once, she ran the 4x4 relay and the 4x800 meter relay back-to-back at the end of the NESCAC meet to help her team win the NESCAC championships. That is no easy feat to run the 4x4 meter relay and then the 4x8 right after it. Remember that, Kate? That's a hard thing to do. And it's probably something that you can call kind of coaching abuse when you make an athlete do that. But Kate can do that, and we've never done it with anyone else since that time. I was her head coach, but I cannot take any credit for directly coaching Kate because that belongs to Molly M. Peters, who was our distance coach at the time. Along the way, Kate developed a strong and supportive relationship with Molly. That collaboration between the two of them was something very special. Kate had this wonderful way of being focused but being extremely calm before stepping up to the starting line. Track and field runners cannot be too uptight and anxious before running, or they will run tight and not run well. Similar to, and in a different way that we've seen Usain Bolt, being loose before and playful before a race. Thank God Kate wasn't a showman like that. Kate's style was a little bit different. Kate's way was to relax just before stepping up to the starting line at the NCAAs. And Molly would yell to Kate. Kate would look up at us in the stands and give us that big Kate Irvin smile, as if she truly appreciated where she was, took in the moment, and reveled in the enjoyment of being there. That big smile brought a sense of calm to her in her pre-race mode, which I am sure helped her run well. Now, along with maybe all the fall and spring coaches here, I prefer to have my recruits visit Middlebury in midsummer, when it is warm and green. These are the conditions that help sell the school, but also they are the conditions in which the athletes will really compete. Luckily, the summer before her high school senior year, Kate visited on a nice, warm, and sunny day. Kate, being from Atlanta, Georgia, had never seen an indoor track before visiting Middlebury. How do I know this? Because when I was touring Kate around our facility, Kate and I walked up into Fletcher Fieldhouse, and you've heard about Fletcher Fieldhouse already today. We climbed the stairs. On the second level, we were overlooking the squash courts on one side and the track on the other side. And Kate's quote to me was, "This is a very nice indoor track." Now, if you know indoor tracks, Fletcher was not a track that a runner would write home about, at least not in a positive way. But that's when I knew, oh, I can get this recruit. This is. And I said to Kate, Kate, we do need to use this track at times. Because sometimes, Kate, it can be a little cold outside in January in Vermont. And we will need to, at times, use this indoor track for practice. So, until now, I have never uttered a word with Kate about that conversation when she visited. And I'm sure she was smart enough to see right through that. And weren't we all fortunate to have her here. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome inductee for 2018, Kate Irvin Pfeffer.
Thank you, Martin. What an incredible honor to be recognized here tonight among such an accomplished group of athletes. Thank you to the selection committee and to Aaron Quinn for including me among them. I'm not sure I deserve it. As my husband said today after touring the indoor track, I don't have any school records, but I sure did run a lot of events, so I guess that brings me here. And thank you to the Middlebury community for valuing athletics as part of the educational experience. Thank you to my coaches, to Martin, who had more faith in me that I could be a middle distance runner in college than I did. Without you, I might not have ventured up to Vermont, And clearly, you kind of glossed over the winters for me. And I certainly would not have run an open 400 or the 4x4 in college. One of my favorite memories is actually rounding the third turn in the 4x4, anchoring a relay, or running as one of the legs in the 4x4 in the NESCAC championships. And the entire team would line the third turn and chant your name and just will you to the finish. It was a really incredible experience for me. And I'm going to diverge a little from my very timed 5-minute speech here and just say that you weren't the only coach to abuse me by having me run many relays and events. I actually ran post-collegiately, and I think there might have been one club nationals for Central Park Track Club where I think I ran the 10K, the 1500, the 800, the DMR, the 4x8, the 4x4, maybe even a 5K thrown in there. So don't worry. I ran many more events in one meet than you made me do. But I do remember after my freshman NESCACs, I couldn't even cut my pizza when we went to dinner after, the second night. I just, someone cut up my food and basically fed me. I was exhausted. Thank you to Molly Enman-Peters, who couldn't be here tonight because she's with her team, St. Michael's, on the eve of their conference meet. She was a fellow middle distance runner who had just recently graduated from Middlebury, and she guided me onto the national stage. In fact, my first national meet, I traveled just with Molly and Martin up to Brandeis as the sole qualifier, and I had a lot of personal attention from my coaches that year. Every time I rounded the turn in a track race, Molly was there, stopwatch in hand, to give me splits and a bit of healthy encouragement. Before every race, we did a little dance. It was something about I get knocked down, but I get up again. There was a dance involved in it. Looked right at her. She was such an important part of my experience. On the track, she paced me through my workouts. Off the track, she remains a dear friend. To Patty Ross, who I haven't seen yet tonight, but I'm going to find you. She made running circles around the track fun, rewarding, challenging, and did I mention fun? My favorite Patty workout, which we always did in San Diego every year, was the one where you ran 350-meter repeats with a 50-meter recovery until you could run no more. If you asked her how fast to run it, she basically just said, run as fast as you can, that you can run a lot of them without collapsing. It's especially humbling for me to be inducted tonight alongside a man who helped shape me into the first person that I am today, Terry Aldrich. From venison dinners hosted by Terry and Beth Ann to his special catchphrases, time to let the dog off the leash, the hay is in the barn, and my personal favorite, we're from Vermont, we'll park where we want. To his encouragement on and off the cross-country course, Terry played a pivotal role in my college experience. There are few people in the world who could make running Chipman Hill repeats a happy memory, yet still, ingrained in my mind is the image of Terry urging me on as I ran up Chipman Hill for the final time my senior year. With time, I have come to recognize the remarkable dedication of our coaches. Martin and Barb were just starting their family, and Terry and Beth Ann were raising 3 incredible student athletes of their own. They sure did make it look easy, but now, as a parent myself, I understand the difficult balancing act they so seamlessly mastered. I owe a special thanks to Beth Ann and to Barb and their children who so generously shared their husbands and fathers with us. In doing so, they enriched the college experience of so many Middlebury kids. I'm lucky to have 2 pretty incredible parents of my own, Mac and Jan Irvin, who always encouraged me, my love of running, never pressured me, and who rarely missed a major track or cross-country meet, despite living a plane flight away. If you told them 30 years ago that I would win an award for speediness, they probably would have laughed because my slowpoke nature as a child earned me the nickname of Molasses. At Middlebury, my team became family. Teammates like Casey Wallace-Enman and Laura Daly Hall, who are sitting with me tonight, made running joyful and unfettered. And our coaches supported that. If I wanted to dress up as a superhero for track practice, they said that was fine. We had little chants that we did during intervals, 3 and free, 2 and through, 1 and done. I think my senior year we danced to the starting line to the theme song of Remember the Titans. We were a little bit dorky, but we had a lot of fun. Amid and beyond, many of my greatest friendships in life have been formed running stride for stride with a teammate. Which brings me to my husband, Russell. We met through a running club in Manhattan and have since traded long runs in Central Park for sprinting after our 3 girls, Caroline, Cecily, and Eliza. Thank you, Russ, for supporting my love of running for 13 years, even when it means taking over the kid duty on a Saturday morning for a 3-hour run, and for giving me my greatest achievement, our children. I'll never forget one of my final track meets at Middlebury. It was April or May, but the track was covered in nearly a foot of snow, courtesy of one of those lovely spring snowstorms I grew so fond of during my time in Vermont. At most schools, the meet probably would have been canceled, but not at Mid. Instead, Molly and Martin grabbed shovels, maybe some hardy volunteers, and they got to work clearing the lanes. I ran my college PR in the 3K that day and still have a picture of 5 of my teammates running side by side in our rather minimalist uniforms, surrounded by snow. I think actually we visited the field house today and they have pictures, and I was wondering if I was making up how much snow it was, but I looked. There's like real banks of snow on the side. After the race, we fell into the snow and we made snow angels. It was a really magical day. A great day to be a Panther, as Terry would say. But that wasn't the first time that I raced in the snow during my tenure at Middlebury. Freshman year, we drove through a blizzard to Maine for the regional cross-country meet. And let me just mention again, I'm from Georgia, so Atlanta closes down if there's like a dusting of snow. But here we were, and apparently snow meant this is cross-country weather. So that night, the team crowded into Terry's hotel room for a pep talk and a spike change. I think the spikes were like, I didn't even know they made them, like inch long, really big spikes. We needed them. But that night, like so many others, Terry talked about the importance of performance goals rather than outcome goals, to run our best race and not to worry about what the teams around us were doing. And seemingly out of nowhere, we won regionals that year, then went on to finish an unexpected 3rd at nationals, running through ankle-deep mud and freezing rain at Franklin Park. My senior year, we won nationals on a course that was fittingly dusted in snow. There was something exhilarating about competing in these tough conditions. I discovered that I had more grit than I ever imagined, and it taught me the power of being part of a team. As a team, we were greater than the sum of our parts. Our strength was in our depth. We pulled each other through those snowy and muddy trails, willing ourselves to the finish line for the sake of our teammates. And waiting there would be our coaches, celebrating with us in victory and modeling dignity in defeat. I feel so lucky to have developed a lifelong love for the sport of running during my time at Middlebury, and I credit my coaches for that. They recognized that we did not just come to Middlebury to run, but to grow intellectually and socially. They taught me to work hard, to persevere, to believe in myself, to value my teammates, and to have fun while doing it. As one of our mid-cross-country shirts proclaimed, success is a journey, not a destination. That journey has continued for me and for many of my teammates long beyond graduation. Running remains a sanctuary for me during the chaos of a hectic life, and I managed to PR in every distance from the 800 to the marathon after college. I actually joined a team because a Middlebury teammate, Laura Ford, met me at the Bleecker Street station and said, "Come to me to this Central Park Track Club track team practice and see what it's all about." And that's where I met my husband, and that led to a lifetime of running. Sitting at my table, Casey will compete in the 2020 Olympic team trials for the marathon, and Laura showed the kind of grit that we earned and learned at Middlebury when she ran the Boston Marathon last year in a torrential downpour. The longevity in the sport, displayed by so many of my teammates, is a testament to the nurturing strength of Middlebury's running program. I'm so grateful to have been a part of it. Thank you for this exceptional honor and for a pretty great excuse to bring my family to see this special place that I called home for 4 years. Thank you.